Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com, and I just wanted to give you some information. As we see, this is Oprah Winfrey's chart that I have in front of me right now. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, okay, there is some videos that I have done in the very beginning of me posting YouTube videos, okay? And they were on, does this sign get along with this sign? Does that sign get along with this sign? Now, people who don't know a lot about astrology, I kind of regret putting those videos up because I'm using this chart to make you realize you're not one sign. And I'm gonna explain to you this. You could date a Libra, all right? Let's say you're in Aries, right? And you can date a Libra and you could be like, oh my God, they're the hostess for the mostest, they're the bomb. They treated me well, they were so good to me, yada yada, right? Let me see if I can shorten this a little bit. No, I'm going to make this big so you guys can see. Anyway, so my point is this. Okay, so let's say that, I'm just trying to make it look good in the picture. Anyway, this is Oprah Winfrey's chart. So let's say that you're dating someone and you're in Aries, and normally Aries is the opposite sign as Libra. So it's usually sometimes that person's going to challenge you, but you know, you may meet a Libra, like my mother was a Libra. I'm going to give you an example. And she was just the best person. Did we have our moments sometimes? Yes. Did I love her? Of course. Was she a good-hearted person? Was she a good-natured person? Would she give her shirt off her back to someone? Yes. She had a, you know, back in the day when they had what do they call that, web TV, you know, and Talk City and all the little chat rooms, you know, she used to have a wellness room for people with disabilities and talk to them and, you know, give them encouragement and things like this in her free time for free. Okay, that is the kind of person she was, okay? This person, my mom, would do anything for anybody. She loved stray animals and she would help people in trouble and, you know. So anyway, and then I know another Libra, right, who I feel is the Antichrist, who I feel he's the devil incarnate. I mean, this person is so evil, so manipulative, the biggest con artist I've ever met in my freaking entire life, and dangerous person. I feel this person is not only a liar, a thief, but a danger and a menace to society, okay, just putting it out there. So what I'm trying to say is, you can't just go by somebody's one sign and say, oh, I'll never date a Taurus again, or I'll never date a Libra again, or I'll never date an Aries again, because it's not true. We're all snowflakes, and I'm going to use Oprah Winfrey's chart to prove what I'm trying to say. Do you see, I'm going to use my little pen here, okay? Okay, my pen. And then it's going to ask me what color I want to use. I'm going to use pretty color. I'm going to use something real bright, like pink. All right, here we go. So here's what I'm going to try to show you. Choose a color. Okay, got that. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So what I'm going to try to show you is, do you see these lines right here? Like this is your ascendant sign, right? Wherever your sun is, it looks like a little circle. That's your sun sign, right? This that looks like a little person, that's your Venus sign. What that looks like a moon, that's your moon sign, right? Wherever it looks, okay, and this is your Mercury. It looks like a little person with a little hook on the top of it. That's your Mercury sign, okay? And here's your Mars. This is how you act. Okay, this is your energy, how you use your energy, all right? So here's what I'm going to show you. What matters is, and all these things that I'm going to show you, this is house 1, this is house 2, this is house 3, and excuse me, I'm doing this with a pen with a mouse, so excuse if it's not beautiful. This is house 5, all right, this is house 6. This is house 7. This is house 8. This is house 9. This is house 10. I don't know where we're going to make this 10. I'll put it right here. All right, this is house 11. And this is house 12. Okay, so there are 12 houses in the astrology wheel, okay? So, and I'm hoping you can see what I'm drawing here. All right, so there's 12 houses in the astrology wheel, all right? So every Aries is not going to have their sun in the same house. Every Taurus is not going to have their sun in the same house. And every sun sign, let's say, because Oprah Winfrey happens to be in Aquarius, right? And she's also has her Venus in Aquarius, right? Which makes sense because that's the second house of earned income, and this lady makes money like there's nobody's business. So I'm not sure if this time is correct, but it is to my understanding that Oprah Winfrey has a Cazimi, so her sun and Venus should be at the same degree, and her minutes are within 17 minutes, which this chart is not reflecting that, so I'm not sure if the time is correct. But my point for the lesson I'm giving you is it'll do, okay? Basically, Oprah Winfrey can rejuvenate herself when it comes to money over and over again, and we've all seen that, right? Her Venus is in the second house, her Sun is in the second house. This lady is a money-making machine, all right? So basically, we know that about her. So what I'm going to try to tell you, and I'm not going to get into Zimis and all that stuff. I'm going to get into this basic astrology. People are like, well, I'm not going to date this person if it's their sun sign, and I'm in Aries and they're a Taurus, or I'm in Aries and they're a Libra. That's bullshit, okay? It really is. Because what you want to see is how do they communicate. Look at their Mercury, right? You see on the second house here for Oprah, that little thing that looks like a stick person with a little hook. It's green. That's her Mercury at 19 degrees Aquarius, right? That tells me her way of communicating is very eccentric. She could be very detached sometimes when she doesn't want to talk about something. She could be like radio silent. She could turn it off like a switch. Like, I'm not talking to you, right? So when you're dating someone, you want to see where their Mercury is and how they communicate. It's called synastry. How do you guys communicate together? Do they turn their feelings off like a switch too? I mean, are they communicative? Do they? And a Mercury in Aquarius, she will stand up for the injustice of others. You know, this is somebody who, especially with her Sun and Venus here in the second house of earned income, she will communicate and bring light to things that are an injustice. Aquarian is a very humanitarian sign, okay? So if she feels there's an injustice in something, she's one to speak out about it, okay? And whether you like Oprah or not, I don't care. That's not the point of my freaking lesson, okay? You're losing the mark, okay? All right. My point is, when you're in a relationship, all right, Venus, okay, in a woman's chart, it's how she flirts. In a man's chart, it's how he shows love, right? So if you're looking at Oprah's Venus, you would say that she flirts by showing she's eccentric, by showing that she's about her independence and how she's going to make her money, and that's how she flirts. She lets people know, hey, I'm an independent person. I'm, you know, when it comes to me and me making my money, I like my independence, I like my freedom, I like to do what I do, you know what I mean? And I'm charismatic. She's in the public eye. You know, Sun in the second house can be public recognition as far as her earned income is concerned, okay? Now, if Oprah was a man, right, if she was a man, I would say the type of woman he's looking for is someone who makes money in a very unique and eccentric way, right? Somebody who's independent, somebody who goes with the beat of their own drum, doesn't care what anybody else thinks, says, or does. He may like this woman who's a humanitarian in her the way she works. He may like that she does donation work and charity work and things like that. He may like the fact that she's in the public eye because it's conjunct the Sun, right? Because Venus, for a man, is what he's looking for in a woman, right? All right. So let's look at her Mars. Now this is what you got to look at in a chart. It's not just one friggin' sign. So when you guys are like, I will never date a Taurus because he was mean to me, and all Tauruses are mean, and you know, and all Libras are this way, and all Aries are, I'm so, like, the comments, I'm like, oh my God, that's not my point of doing the freaking video, okay? We're talking about signs only. We're talking about a piece of the puzzle in which you see there are 12 pieces of that freaking puzzle, and it's complicated. It is a huge, complicated puzzle. Because then we look at Mars and we say, okay, well, how does this person use their energy? Well, Oprah's got Mars in Scorpio, man. Well, I wouldn't piss her off because Mars in Scorpio, she could be secretive. Okay, she's about groups, friends, and organizations because her Mars is in the 11th house, right? She may be very private with her groups, friends, and organization. And the fact that she has Mars in the 11th house, I wouldn't be surprised if she made all her workers sign a privacy agreement. In other words, whatever happens behind the scenes within her walls of her building, there is a privacy agreement that they probably have to sign because Scorpio is a very private sign. However, if you cross her, Mars and Scorpio, they will sting. Mars in Scorpio can be either the Scorpion or the Phoenix rising. They rise above the ashes, okay? It depends on how you're using that Mars. But the energy with Mars could be a person who's very sexual. She could be a person who's very intense, wanting to be friends first before having an intimate connection with someone. And when she does have that intimate connection, she wants that mind, body, soul connection with just that one person, okay? But it can be a very intimate connection, right? And friendship is very important to her. I'm seeing that as well, right? So now if as a woman, Mars tells you the kind of man she's attracted to. She's attracted to someone who's sexual, who's intense, who's passionate, who could be a friend. But on the negative side, she could be attracted to a man who is very possessive, manipulative, controlling. So she has to be careful of that, right? Hence the privacy agreements that she may need to be signed with groups and organizations that she's involved with. People working for her may need to sign this because people could become a little possessive or controlling or manipulative, okay, around her, and she has to be cautious of that, not only with her own energy, but with others as well, okay? All right, so, but I will say, you know, so let's go, okay, so let's go, if Oprah was a man, she was a man, Mars is how a man flirts. Now, if she was a man, she would flirt by showing, I want to be friends first, and I like being with groups and organizations. I'm kind of secretive and passionate. I'm very sexual. If she was a man, he would be very intense. He'd have to be careful of being controlling, manipulative, possessive, all those negative traits of Scorpio as well. And it just depends on how he would be using that energy, okay? All right. Now, with the moon and with Mars and Scorpio, they could be very private, okay, with their energy. They could be private about their intimacy and all that stuff too, you know what I mean? So I want to say Oprah, the fact that she has Venus is how love plays out too. The fact that she has Venus conjunct her sun, not only is her money going to be public, but her love life could be public as well. Public knowledge about her money and love life, okay, pertaining to her second house. Some people may say, oh, that person's just with her for the money. It may not be true, but there could be public communication about that, all right, in regards to her work environment, all right. So, okay, and anyway, I can go more on that, but I'm trying to keep this simple, all right. You look at the moon, the thing that looks like a little moon in her chart in the 11th house, right? And that is how she handles her emotions. And this is what you have to look at when you're looking at someone else's chart. How do they handle their emotions? That's huge. Well, she handles her emotions. She likes to be around her friends probably when she's upset. She feels like friends or family or groups and organization is like a family to her. In Sagittarius, she may like to travel with friends, right? She may like education, learning new things, outdoorsy types of things. You know, she could be an outdoorsy type of person in Sagittarius, right? So you want to look at how somebody handles her emotions, right? Sagittarius is a fire sign. She could get mad. Now, this is a person who really probably emotionally does not want to be possessed, probably wants to get to know someone slowly, but likes her freedom, emotionally likes to travel when she just wants to. She wants to go. She wants to go. So she needs someone who understands that about her, right? And so, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's not, oh, I'm going to go by their sun sign, and, I don't like them because they're a Taurus or they're a Scorpio. You can't just do that shit, okay? I'm telling you right now, people, you got it wrong, all right? There's more to astrology than just one frickin' sign, all right? All right, now your ascendant is very important in your chart. Your ascendant is how people perceive you as a person when they first meet you, right? So when people first perceive Oprah, for example, they see her as a teacher, Sagittarius, teacher, right? Writer, publisher. She was a reporter at one time, wasn't she? Very important. 29 degrees, she may feel tested in this area of her life, right? And I think that she was at many areas, being a black woman, being a reporter, trying to, basically get her way in mainstream media, you know what I'm saying? And I will say, with all her Aquarian energy, Mars can be difficult when you're trying to handle things because it's intense energy, and Mars can be very, she could have, her energy could be quite intense, but with that Sun, Venus, and Mercury could make her very, she could really look outside the box of things, which makes it good when she had on her show and there were like white supremacists and people who were just, and I don't want comments about this, I'm just trying to give you examples, okay? People who have differences of opinion, let's put it that way. Then obviously hers, okay? And how she was trying to allow them to speak their opinion and allow herself to speak her opinion as well in a productive way, in which it wasn't hostile, it was still an environment that was peaceful, but was allowing a constructive way of communicating differences of opinion or hot topics that could have gone really awry, but with her Aquarian energy, with Mercury, and the way she communicates, she can really communicate outside the box. And Aquarius usually gets along with every sign in the zodiac. So, and they're usually very ingenious way of thinking. They can think really forward-minded. Some people may think, God, this person's weird, or they say things at all times, or they're, oh my God. But a lot of times people with Mars and Mercury in Aquarius, can be very ingenious types of people and have thinking beyond their years in advancement, okay? And obviously it's helping her with her money, right? Sun here is a soul level. She wants to be a humanitarian, right? She wants to be the type, and whether you like Oprah or not, I don't care. It's not my point of my reading. I'm just giving you what I'm seeing in the chart. So, this is a person who could be considered eccentric. She could be considered weird. She could be considered different. And you notice how sometimes she shows herself with no makeup, she shows herself as heavy, she shows herself as thin. She, does that diet thing and says, well, that crap didn't work, or I'm going to try something else. It's because really people with a lot of Aquarian energy, they accept themselves for their uniqueness, right? And Venus is also beauty. There's something unique about her, too, in that way, too. Not only love, money, but beauty, too, that she's like, I embrace my differences. I embrace the fact that I'm different, and I embrace, who I am. And Aquarians, just like Libras, have a way of having a confidence about themselves, even their uniqueness, okay? But they also have a way of being a humanitarian, and they will stand up for the underdog if need be. And they will use their voice, Mercury is your voice, to help others in some way, shape, or form, okay? So, I will say with Aries ruling her 4th house, she could be in a more aggressive household growing up. It could have been even abusive. I don't know. But Aries is a very aggressive home situation, right? So that I'm seeing. 3rd house of Pisces, there's a very compassionate way of communicating as well. You see, not only am I looking at her Mercury in communication, how she communicates, but how she may, 3rd house, how she's using that communication tells me a lot. 3rd house Pisces, there is a very compassionate nature to her when it comes to communication, all right? And it involves her status and her work. So she's going to, in a very compassionate nature, use her status with other people. It's in Libra, Neptune in Libra, to communicate through her work and and educating many people, okay? Educating people. Gemini. Gemini is like, has to do with, you know, Gemini craves knowledge. But also it's the sign of the twins, right? Seeing both sides of situations, right? And educating in that way. So, you know, and you have to look in a chart where you look at, so you just can't say I would never date this sign or that sign. It's really, to be honest with you, uneducated astrology, because it's beyond one sign. And I think when I did these videos on does this sign get along with this sign, and I said you can't go by one sign, as we're all 12 pieces of a puzzle. We're all not one sign. I preface every video with that, but it went in one ear and out the freaking other, okay? So I'm going to say it again. This is a chart. You see there are 12 pieces of a pie, and you see that she has, you as a person and as an individual are a snowflake. You have 12 signs to your chart, to your chart, your puzzle of your pie, the day you were born, right? These are where the planets were the day you were born. And the planets talk about how you're going to use your energy in your life, what you're going to attract in your life, and, you know, you can use it for good or bad. You know, there's octaves in astrology. There's high octaves and low octaves, right? Like with that Mars in Scorpio, she's going to be the Phoenix rising, or is she going to be the Scorpion in staying? Right? I think a lot of times she's the Phoenix rising. But with that Mars and Scorpio, I would have people sign privacy agreements if they worked for me, especially in that 11th house. Okay, that's me. Especially 11th house in Scorpio. A lot of private things, a lot of secretive things, intense things. You know, there could be drama within a work, a group, an organization, and to release some of that drama, I would make sure that they sign ironclad privacy agreements. That would just be me based on this chart. I would say also, you know, her 7th house, you know, you notice how she didn't get married, right? She has Uranus in the 7th house, and her 7th house is ruled by Gemini. There could have been a situation in her life where she was indecisive, okay? Or she was with someone who was indecisive. This house is intercepted, meaning that, and let me give you a little, I'm going to get a pen, and I'm going to give you another little color, and I'm going to show you what intercepted means. I'm going to give like a light color, like we'll do like, I don't know, what color are we going to do? I'll do orange. All right, here we go. Do you see this Cancer right here? It's intercepted. If you have one on one side, you have it on the other side, okay? And what this means is she's going to attract someone who's sensitive and nurturing in her life, along with somebody who could be indecisive or very educated. Gemini is a very educated sign. It's very smart, but it can be very indecisive, right? Cancer, now that's Gemini. Now the fact that she has 2 rulers for her relationship house, it means that she, you know, is going to attract someone who's very nurturing to her, as well, and may feel like family to her, okay? The fact that she has Uranus, and I will show you what Uranus looks like. It's right here. Here's Uranus. It's this little planet right here. So the fact that she has Uranus in the 7th house, it means that she wants to have an unconventional type of relationship, right? She may need more freedom, or a partner may need more freedom, you know, in the relationship, okay? And as you notice, she was teeter-tottering on whether her and Stedman should get married or not, right? She has this conjuncting her South Node. So in a past life, she could have had an unconventional relationship. She also could have been married to someone she was married to, in a relationship with some, like maybe she met Stedman and she knew right away, I want to be with this guy, because she knew in a past life, right? Whoever her relationship partner is going to be, she's going to have a lot of karmic relationships in this life, all right? So it doesn't mean she's not going to have a relationship with her South Node, is what you're getting away from. It's like she's getting away from this unconventionality within relationships in this life, or the unconventionality of partnerships. But she's working toward getting to know herself, okay, in this life, all right? So with the North Node conjuncting Chiron in her 1st house, it means that she's going to be, and it's exact, she's going to be getting to know herself in this life, all right? And she's going to be a healer. She's going to heal many people on a very practical Capricorn level, building something from the ground up, and she has. She really has, right? So not only is she a 29-degree Sagittarius ascendant, which is like a teaching sign, teaching, writing, publishing, and she was a newscaster, which makes sense. That's kind of like publishing. She is a teacher, which she had a talk show, you know. And she's using, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Let's look at Jupiter. Jupiter is right here in her 6th house. She's using that knowledge to teach others through her work, okay? Now, the fact that she has Capricorn, and that's right here, I'll put an arrow to it. Well, it looks like an arrow, I'm sorry. My writing is bad. Capricorn is also ruling her 1st house. It makes her very serious, a very hard worker. She could be a workaholic, a workhorse in her life, and it rules her status. You know, Saturn is her house of status, right? A lot of times people with Saturn, and I have it in my 10th house too, even when they're not working, they're working. You know, even when they're not, like I went to the pool with my daughter, I'm getting emails, text messages, I'm getting, you know, legal people calling me, and I'm like, I just needed a day with my daughter because it's not fair to her to be in the house having me trying to, you know, do emails, contact attorneys, you know, law enforcement, all of this stuff. And, you know, it's taking time away from, I could be spending with her, which is why I have a lot of resentment as far as what I'm going through and what I'm having to go through, because this is taking time away. I mean, not as far as my career. That's different. I love my career. I love what I do. But this legal stuff that I should not have to do it, that somebody is actually, I'm having to do this to protect my daughter. You know, it's pissing me off because it's taking time away and finances away from myself because I have to do this. So anyway, Saturn in the 10th house, you're working even when you're not working. So like I took my daughter to the pool and I was still, you know, having to deal with calls and stuff that I had to miss. I had to miss a few calls. I had to miss a few text messages and emails, and I had to get back to them later because my daughter needed my time. She needed that time with me, okay? But you're going to feel that way. If you have Saturn in the 10th house, you may feel like you're working even when you're not working. You know, like even when you're on vacation, you're not really on vacation because you're going to be busy, I'm telling you. So you're going to be looking at these things, okay? So when you're looking at a chart, it's not just, oh, I hate all Geminis. I hate all Taurus. I hate all Aries. You know, that's ignorance because you can't judge a person by one sign. I mean, you know, I could ask someone, oh, what's your sign? They can give me kind of like some information about them, but I don't know everything there is to know about them until I know, like, okay, what city and state were you born and what time were you born? Really? Okay. All right. And what date, what is your exact date of birth and what year were you born? And then I can pinpoint stuff about that person and be like, okay. And then I do the synastry and see, okay, well, how are their planets, where their planets fall going to affect me? Now let's look at Oprah Winfrey's dating life. Taurus, you know, she's looking for people who, she may meet people through her work, through her job, through the way she makes money, you know, because Taurus is right here, and that's ruled by Venus, okay? So she may meet people through her work, her day-to-day activities, but she's going to date people who are grounded, secure, you know. Taurus is a very sensual sign too, taste, touch, smell. These people may like and be good at cooking, you know, massages, or, you know, just, there's like there's senses of taste, touch, smell. All of the 5 senses are heightened in Taurus, okay? So she may attract this type of partner. And this house is things that you enjoy, and she does like food, right? So Taurus can be, you know, guilty pleasure there with, Taurus is like, she may like cooking. She may like to get massages. She may like, you know, and with food, it's not only the taste, it's the texture, you know. Tauruses are very aware of textures. The way something feels on their skin, the way something grainy like a pear feels in your mouth, it's grainy, right? They're so much more aware of smells of things, the way something smells, and they can be aware of appearances, like, you know, even though she's all about eccentricity and being who she is, you know. She also knows, I would say, this is good, like this is a good product, or this is going to make someone really look beautiful, or I see this is going to be something that, so she could be good at these things, and this could be like a hobby for her too, things that she finds fun. And you know how she always had those cool little Christmas things, like, oh, let's give to others, you know, which is funny because the ruler to her 5th house of fun, of these sensual pleasures, is in her 2nd house in Aquarius, and she used her money in a very humanitarian way by giving, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. But these are things that she found were good, like, oh wow, this popcorn's the best, you know, or this food is the best, or this car is, I find, a real economical vehicle. This is going to be great for people. This is going to be great for, you know, whatever it is that she finds. And Taurus is a very practical sign too, you know, practical and useful, and she even tells people on her show, oh, I tried this and I totally loved it, and here's why I loved it. And then when she goes through everything she loves, and just so you know, all of you get this for Christmas, you know, so she's using her Venus in a very Aquarian way, in a very humanitarian way, and giving that to people, to others, through her money. And it's not shown here in this chart, but I do know for a fact, I think the birth time on here is wrong. She has a Cazimi, which means that her Venus and her Sun is the same degree, and her minutes are within 17 minutes of each other, which means that she can regenerate herself financially like nobody's business, okay? But also, she could be very generous and very humanitarian-like with her money, okay? So, and she may meet a lot of people through her job that she may date, right? And when it comes to her marriage, let's look at the marriage. She may meet someone who, I want to say, you know, may meet someone through, as we look here, Gemini is ruled by Mercury here. She may meet somebody through her job as well for a marital partner, okay? Her job through, and it's co-ruled by Cancer, through what? Groups, friends, organizations, because it's ruled by the moon, okay? So I see that as well going on with her. But the fact that she has Saturn at 9 degrees in Scorpio, right? So, okay, let me see, 4, 5, no, wait, 4, 1, 2, 3. I have to look at this. 3. And it ends in Leo at 5 degrees, her 7th house. So Saturn isn't totally squaring her 7th house, but a lot of times if you have Saturn squaring your 7th, it could mean a divorce if you were to get married too young, okay? If you have Saturn in the 7th, it could mean a divorce if you get married prior to 35, or there's delays, but a second marriage would be long-lasting and last the test of time. If you have Saturn in the 1st house that's opposing the 7th, that could be the same rule of thumb, okay? But you have to look at all this shit and all this crap. Wherever you have Pisces, let's get a different marker out, all right? I'm marking this shit up. I'm trying to teach you guys something here, okay? Wherever you have Pisces, let's do some blue this time. We will do some blue. All right, wherever you have Pisces, all right? Let's see, here we go, pen. All right, wherever you have Pisces, here's Pisces, right? Wherever you have Pisces is where you serve or suffer. So through communication, she is going to be of service to others. Okay, and the ruler to Pisces is Jupiter, right here, 6th house, all right? And co-ruler is Neptune through her status. She is going to use communication to help others through her status, because, and if she didn't, life could be very difficult for her, because wherever you have Pisces is where you serve or suffer, and wherever you have Pisces, you could be lied to, deceived. She would have to be careful with contracts and all that stuff. Neptune is where you could feel deceived by others or taken by others too. So when it comes to her status, when it comes to relationships, because this is in Libra, okay, when it comes to dealing with other people, especially Libra's ruler is Venus. We got with money right here, 2nd house, Venus. When it comes to dealing with that, she needs to make sure that people are being honest with her and not deceiving her in ways for her finances when it comes to her status, okay? But, so I'm just giving you a little lesson here. It's not just one sign, people, so please stop commenting on my stuff about, oh my God, you know, I'm going to go back to pink. I got to go back to some pink here. I need pink. I'm going to fix this. It looks like, it doesn't look like a 12. 12. Well, I don't know if that's better, but anyway. You know, it's not just one sign, and what you have to do is say, okay, this person, the way they handle their emotions, like the way Oprah handles her emotions, when she's pissed off, she probably likes to be around friends, family, groups, organizations, and she probably likes to travel when she's pissed or upset, right? You know, her love life could be very up and down. She could meet people unexpectedly with a Venus in Aquarius, right? And money could be up and down too with Venus in the second house. However, she's really good at rejuvenating herself with that Cazimi. She does have a Cazimi, and I think I have her birthday wrong, her birth time. But I do know for sure she's one person. I have it in my chart. It's very rare, and I was told the only other person that, maybe other people have it too, I was told it's very rare. My astrology teacher said he was teaching astrology in the 1960s, and this was before they had computers, before they had a chart drawing system. And the other person he knew who had this was Oprah. And then I have an exact one with the exact degree and the exact minute, but mine's in the 8th house, okay? But hers is in the 2nd. So she can rejuvenate money like there's nobody's business, right? And in a very humanitarian way. So she's using her energy in a very positive and uplifting way, right? Now, when it comes to 8th house matters, people's money, things could be public for her. You know, I'm going to highlight this. It's Leo. Leo, she, you know, when it comes to intimacy, remember I said her love life could be public? Any intimate situations in her love life. See, Juno is the marriage partner, right? It's in Leo. It could be very public in her life, you know? So, you know, and it's other people's money, it's loans, it's kind, you know, loans, money you owe others, money they owe you, things could be public and things like that, right? So, just in looking at a chart, you know a lot about a person, but it's not just one freaking sign, it's not just one freaking house, and if you see, she's got kind of a stellium here. See all these little, in the 2nd house, she's got all these little planets all together. I'm going to use a different color pen just so I can show you what I'm talking about. I need to use, like, I don't know, a bright yellow, something. All right, see these planets all right here? You okay, Ava? You okay? So all these planets are a stellium, and when they connect together like this, you could come by mommy. When they connect like this, it means something in a chart, right? So it means that she's going to be public, in the public eye regarding her money, a love life, communicating in a humanitarian way, and the sign that it's in makes a difference. They're all in Aquarius. All makes a huge difference. So you're not just one sign, people, okay? You need to get an astrology class. And when you know, I shouldn't have done those videos on, oh, this sign gets along with this sign gets along with that sign. Hold on one second. Okay, so my point in doing this video is to educate people that you're just not one sign, and we're all snowflakes. Not every Aries is going to have their sun in the 1st house, sun in the 2nd, sun in the 3rd, sun in the 4th. That's why timing, you know, when they talk about transits, like, this month, this may happen to you, all right? Well, it's going to happen to some people at the beginning of the month, some people at the end of the month, some people in the middle of the month, depending on when your birthday is, okay? So when you're looking at, I'm going to tell you, if you have a chart like Oprah, she's a 29-degree ascendant. That's a very late degree Sagittarius, right? So if I were to tell her, I would say if you're going to look at your monthly forecast, look at Capricorn, because you're 1 degree away from Capricorn. Capricorn's probably going to resonate with you mostly, but if you want to look at how the emotional month is going to go for you emotionally, because your moon is in Sagittarius, her moon is in Sag, I would say watch your, you know, watch Sagittarius for your moon sign, and for your sun sign, watch Aquarius. But for her ascendant sign, which is the most important sign in your chart, the most important as far as transits go, because she's such a late degree, you know, Sagittarian, I would tell her watch Capricorn, because Capricorn transits, if you watch Capricorn horoscopes, they're probably going to be more resonating with her, okay? But I'm just trying to teach you that you can't say I'm never going to date this sign or based on that sign unless you do their whole freaking chart and say, all right, because people have, look at, like, she's a Capricorn, right? And she's a Sagittarian ascendant with a Capricorn intercepted in her first house. That makes her unique. And the fact that her North Node is conjunct Chiron, that makes her a healer. Do all Capricorns have that? No. Do all Sagittarians have that? No. The fact that she has Venus Cazimi, the sun, is very rare, right? And it's conjunct Venus, right? Does that make her like a lot of people? Hell effing no. The fact that her third house is Pisces, and she's using that compassionate nature at her work through her status, you know, there's a lot of unique things in her chart. She has a grand trine between the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th house, the 10th house cusp. She was meant to, she is using her energy in a good way. I'm telling you right now. Okay? And, you know, she's meant to have kind of an unconventional type of relationship, which is fine. I see this in her chart, and it was in a past life as well. But in a past life, she could have been so nurturing others in her relationship. She needs to get away from nurturing others in that relationship and be her own unique self, and maybe be a little bit more detached. Or she's getting away from being nurturing and maybe being a little more detached, because she's working towards discovering who she is on a practical level, on a Capricorn level, by working. Through her work, she's going to heal herself, and she's going to learn a lot about herself through Capricorn energy, through building something from the ground up, through working hard, and through her status. She is going to heal not only herself, but heal others in the same way. Okay? North Node Capricorn is meant to be a healer, right? So I'm just telling you, when you look at those videos that I'm talking about, oh, does this sign get along with this sign? What I mean is, well, if their moon is in Sagittarius and my moon is in Leo, yeah, we probably, you know, it's okay. If their moon is in Sagittarius and my moon's in Cancer, well, my moon may be a little bit more sensitive than somebody with moon in Sagittarius. So I have to be aware that I could be more sensitive than somebody whose moon is in Sag, right? I could be more about home and family, where this person wants to travel and say, hey, don't be a Klingon to me. You know what I mean? So these are the things you have to look at. Somebody whose energy is in Scorpio, right? And my energy is in Aquarius. I could be more detached. My Mars is in Aquarius. Somebody whose Mars is in Scorpio is kind of like, I want to be really together with you. I want to be like joined at the hip. But the fact that her Mars is in the 11th house, so she could be a little bit detached too. She's not so clingy with that Mars in Scorpio. Plus the fact that and you see how this changes things. The fact that she has Sun, Venus, Mercury in Aquarius, it makes her, she's not going to be a Klingon. You know what I mean? She's not going to be, but like somebody who has their Sun in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, and then they have their Mars in Scorpio, they're not going to understand somebody who's like, likes a lot of detached energy, likes their own thing, is like, look, I don't need to be with you 24/7, all right? So you need to look at that when you look at a partner and you do synastry, all right? So anyway, I have links below. Those of you who want a reading from me, check it out. If you want a synastry relationship advisor session, if you want to. Also, when you look at transits, okay, transits are when planets hit these planets. Like there's like, let's say the sun right here is hitting her moon, right? Let's say the sun was hitting her moon right now in Sagittarius. This would activate her emotions, right? This would activate her emotions and her feelings, right? Right now, I don't know where the hell we are at. I'm so busy lately. We're in the summertime. We're in August. Okay, we are in Leo season, right? So the fact that we are in Leo season, and I really don't know, I'd have to look at my ephemeris right now on my thing on my phone to know, let's see, 8, 9, 10, okay, 1, 3, 4, okay, Leo season, right? We're somewhere over here, okay? So right now her 8th house is being activated, right? So deep intensity, intentions, money she owes others. Oh, sure. Money she owes others, money they owe her, investments. You know, she could be really focusing on these things, and she could also be focusing on partnerships. There could be a transformation in her life as well. You know, she could be focusing on this stuff during, you know, the 8th house. You know, she could be focusing on intimacy as well, you know. And the fact that there's a new moon at 18 degrees, which is in Juno, she could have focused on a partnership, maybe even a marital partnership, you know, on an intimate level and having a new beginning. And maybe she's contemplating marriage again. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do know with that eclipse that we had, I'm going to erase all drawings really quick. Let me just kind of do this. Erase all drawings. Here we go. And we go normal drawing mode. Okay. So when we had that eclipse that we had at 4 degrees Aquarius, there was something about her that she was going to end, right? And we have Uranus in Taurus right now, the early degrees of Taurus, right? So she's going to end something that has to do with, or end a belief or a way of thinking or whatever that may have to do with something legal or something with long distance travel, people and places at a distance. That's how it would have affected her, okay? So that's how that eclipse would have affected her. And that new moon eclipse, she could be thinking about, well, maybe she was ending something about, you know, and it could have been abrupt, quickly. You know, she could have been like, I'm ending this, either her own fruition or, you know, maybe with somebody at a distance or legal, like I said, or a belief system maybe. You know, maybe it's a belief system. I don't want to get married, and all of a sudden I do. Because this new beginning, this new moon eclipse that we had just had on the 11th of August is hitting her Juno, you know. So she may be, and it could be a transformation. She may be thinking, well, maybe I want to get married again, or maybe there's a transformation with a partnership in her life. It's a new beginning in that way. So anyway, I don't know how it's playing out, but that's what I'm seeing anyway. But I will say, please don't just judge a person based on one sign alone, because you don't know what house that's in. You don't know what conjunctions they have, what aspects they have to that planet. And you have to look at not just their sun sign, but there's their moon. How does their moon assimilate with your emotions? How does their energy assimilate with how you're using your Mars, your energy? How does their Uranus affect your chart? Where are they bringing ups and downs in your chart? How is that affecting you? Pluto, where are they bringing transformation in your life, right? Communication, how do they communicate versus how you communicate, right? And I will say people who have moon in fire and water are usually passionate, and they usually want to show emotion. They show their feelings, right? And people who have their moon in air or earth tend to be more practical with their emotions, and they tend to think about their emotions before emoting them, right? So I call them thinkers versus feelers. And a lot of times feelers get upset with thinkers, and they're like, he or she does not love me, right? Because they're rationalizing their feelings rather than showing me, you know what I mean? So it'd be an example, like Oprah has her moon in Sagittarius. So I would say this is a passionate type of energy. She shows how she feels, right? And let's say you have somebody with moon in Capricorn, and this person is like more like an intellectual or an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So this is somebody who intellectualizes their feelings and their emotions, and so Oprah may say, well, you know, I need you to show me how you feel, not just think about it and tell me. I need you to show me, right? Whereas somebody who has their moon in Capricorn dating somebody with their moon in Taurus, they kind of get each other, right? Or somebody who has their moon in Capricorn and is dating something with their moon in Aquarius, you know, it's like, oh, okay, well, you're a little detached. I'm cool with that, you know. I can be, you know, with me in Capricorn, I'm, you know, somebody with their moon in Capricorn may show their emotions by buying you gifts and stuff. They want to show security, right? Somebody with moon in Aquarius shows their intellectual side, but they can be a little bit detached. And, you know, there has to be an understanding. And if you're opposites, you have to kind of meet each other in the middle, right? So if somebody has their Mars, you got to look at Mars too. How is this person using their energy, you know? Like Mars conjunct Venus in Aries, right, is very passionate. Mars conjunct Venus is very passionate. But in Aries, it could be abusive. Could be somebody who's downright freaking abusive. So you got to look at that, all right? Now, that's just in their chart, but you got to look at how it affects you in your chart. If you ever met someone in the street and you're like, oh, this person just brings out the best in me. I laugh every time I'm around them and I have the best time. And then you could be around somebody else who makes you want to pull your freaking hair out, right? Hence, 2 Libras. My mother, who brought the best out of me, gave me an example of what love is, showed me an example of what caring and giving is, showed me an example of selfless love, giving to others without the expectation of something in return, all right? Giving your time, your energy, and your resources just to help someone because you can. And then I met another Libra who's the total opposite and selfish, all about themselves. If it's not going to benefit themselves, they don't give a shit about anybody else, okay? This person was not only selfish, but a lying, con artist, thief, convicted thief. Okay? Same sign. Same sign of Libra. Same sign. All right? This person does not, it's always about that. What can I get from you? What can I get from you? You know? Not what can I give? How can I be of service? Well, you know, I know I'm asking a lot, you know, what can I do? You know, I mean, I went from someone raised by someone who is so different to meeting someone of the same sign who is so about themselves and narcissistic that it was a one-way street sign. And, you know, such a difference. But they were the same sign, is my point in trying to tell you. So not every Aries is bad. And I'm still not going to say every Libra is bad or horrible. I'm just going to say you have to judge on an individual basis, and you have to look at the chart, because the chart does show you individually how that person may or may not be using their energy in a positive or a negative way, okay? So that is my astrology lesson for today. So I just wanted you to say, I don't want people saying, you know, every time I date a person, this happens. And there are traits. I'm not going to lie. There are traits certain signs have, like I'm an Aries, all right? And Aries can be angry. They can be hostile. They can be warriors. They're the first people who may, they may like the police, like they're the ones who join the military, the police department, fire department. They will go where angels fear to tread and live, okay? These people will act and think later, right? They're the warriors of the zodiac. Do not start a fight with an Aries because they will finish it, right? Aries is aggressive. Let's just face it. With Mars retrograde, it's not a very good energy to be aggressive as an Aries, right? Or a Scorpio, by the way. But I will just say, not every Aries is the same. Like my Aries is conjunct Venus, which gives me a little softer side, right? But it's also conjunct Chiron, right? Which means that I'm going to use the ones that I feel as soul level to help others in some way, shape, or form. Sun conjunct Chiron, I have the same, it's the same thing. It's being a healer. If you have North Node conjunct Chiron, you're a healer in some way. That's your mission. So Oprah's mission was to be a healer. Now at a soul level with my Sun conjunct Chiron and Venus, I meant to help others heal in a way too, maybe through love and relationships, and that is my niche in astrology. And in my work that I do, I usually deal with with relationship readings, okay? And, you know, what's coming up for me for the month, tell me what's going on. I deal with that stuff too, but mostly it's relationships, okay? So I use that stuff that I've been through to help others in some way, shape, or form, and that is what I'm meant to do, right? So I will say it's really important to look at the North Node too to figure out that person's life purpose, where they have been, their South Node, where they've gone, and what they're looking to learn in this life, okay? So anyway, I hope this helps you out. I hope this gives you some clarity. Please don't judge a person based on one sign only, because it's not fair, because you don't know their full entire chart. One person may be, you know, like a Mother Teresa, and the next person could be like frickin' devil incarnate. You know what I mean? You just can't judge a person based by their chart. I'm sorry, you can't. So based on one sign is what I'm saying. Their chart is a different thing. You can learn a lot about a person, but it's also how a person uses that energy. And I'm going to use Hitler as an example. He had a lot of good aspects in his chart, but in every chart, you can use that energy for good or for evil, right? There are octaves in astrology. You can use it as, like I said, the Scorpion or the Phoenix, right? Pisces. Pisces is an energy, it's spiritual, it's creative, but it's also drug and alcoholism, right? Aries. Aries can be fighting. What are you fighting for? Are you fighting for justice? Are you fighting for fairness, to save people in buildings, burning buildings, like a firefighter in the military, the police department? Or are you just a freaking bully? Right? Are you an overbearing bully? That could be Aries too, right? Every sign has their octaves, positive and negative. So you have to look at how you're using that energy as well. So Hitler used his to the negative, you know, the negative octave in his chart, you know. You know, they say the Star of David, when it's in the sky, a king is born, and he had the Star of David. But he was the king of what? I mean, he made hell for so many people and judged people based on their, you know, religion, ethnicity, and felt like certain people should die if they didn't share the same belief or religion as him. You know, is that really fair? No, because I feel that God doesn't make mistakes, and I feel that God creates everybody individually to be their individual selves. And, you know, I may not believe in someone's religion or faith, but it doesn't mean that I should discount them or disrespect them because of it. Like, not everybody believes in astrology, and I get that. And if I date somebody again, they may not believe in what I do, but I expect them to respect what I do. You see? So I'm just saying, we may not believe in someone else's religion or culture, or it may not be our thing, and that's okay. But I think as a planet, as a collective, we at least need to be respectful to our neighbor. When we are born and we are in the NICU, or, you know, when you know, they put all the babies together, do you really care who your neighbor is? If they're an Asian, if they're black, if they're Filipino, if they're... No, you're like, oh my God, look at that little baby. That one looks like a little baby. That one looks so chubby, and that one looks so cute. And you're like, oh, I just want to hug them all, right? You don't care. And you know, children don't see color. It's parents who teach them color, by the way. My little girl Ava, we were talking about the other day. And I said, do you know what color hair you have? And she says, black. I go, well, you have brown hair. And then I said, do you know what color eyes you have? And she says, black. I said, no, you have brown eyes. And I said, okay, and what color is your skin? Because I wanted her to be able to, like, if something bad ever happened to her, to be able to say, okay, this person has this color hair, this color eyes, blah, 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 you know. So I said, and you have white skin? And I go, she goes, no. And she had a temper tantrum. And I go, what's wrong with you? She goes, I have black hair, black eyes, and I am black-skinned. I am black. And I'm like, I don't want to argue with her. My Mars is in Aquarius, you know. And I said, okay. I said, well, just so you know, if, you know, you're considered white. There are all different types of people in the world, you know. I said, and I know you want to be black, but you're a white girl with brown eyes. And like, mommy has hazel eyes, you know, I was trying to tell her. And I go, and you have a little friend who's black, and you have a little friend, and maybe that's the reason she wants to be black. She has a little friend who's black, and she has a little friend who's also Hispanic, you know, and she's tan-skinned, you know, and she wants to be like her little friend. So that makes sense. But children don't see color. It's the adults who teach this bullshit, and I believe as a collective, you know, we're meant to, we may not agree with other people. We may not agree with their culture, their religion, or whatever it is, but we have to at least try to coexist. Like, do you really care when you're born who's next to you, or when you die who you're buried next to? Are you going to fight because, oh my God, I'm buried next to this person of this religion or this faith? Does it really matter? Don't we, if we're good people, don't we all go to the same place? And whether you believe in Allah, or you believe in God, or you believe in heaven, or you believe in whatever you believe in, you know, don't you, and some people believe you're reborn and some people don't. But it doesn't matter in the end. I think what matters, what did somebody say? They said, you know what, beginnings are scary, endings are sad, but it's the middle that counts the most. So what matters is, are you a good person in the now and today? Are you a good person? Do you live your life with integrity? Do you try to help others? Do you try to understand others? Are you a naysayer? Are you a negative Nancy? Are you just, if they don't believe in what I believe in, they're just wrong? Well, no, that's not what God created. Then you're saying there's no difference between you and Hitler. I'm sorry. There's no difference. You know, whether you believe me or not, whether you unfriend me or not on my page, whatever. It is what it is, okay? We are all snowflakes. We are all here. We may not agree with someone, and I may not agree with someone's beliefs, and I may get upset and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this person has done that to me. Or I can't believe this person's thinking is such narrow-minded. Like, sometimes it bothers me. But I think that in spreading hate, I can just pray for that person that they can open their mind and see things from a new perspective. And unfortunately, that's when the universe comes in and brings in a tower-ass moment to that person's life to teach them a lesson about humility, okay? Understanding life from another person's perspective through another person's eyes, all right? And that's hard. So anyway, I don't mean to be on my little soapbox here, but I hope this helps you with astrology and not judging person based on one sign, and hopefully not judging based on other things too. You know what I mean? My Mars is in Aquarius, so I'm, you know, eccentric, and mine is conjunct Jupiter as well, so I can be very eccentric, and it's in my work sector, so I am also like a teacher and want to teach others and help others in a way that I can, but I don't want people on my page spreading hate just based on a sign or based on an ethnic group or based on, that's just not cool, and that's not what my channel is about. You know what I mean? It's about learning another person. And, you know, like I just said, my mom was a great person. She was a giving person, and I love her and miss her dearly. My father was a Taurus. I love him dearly. I know another Taurus who will lie to you straight to your face, who was born the same day, same year as my dad. And my dad would never lie to your face. He'd be like, look, I'm going to give you, his saying was, I'm going to shoot from the hip, speak from the gut. I'm going to tell you how it is. And he didn't hold back. That man did not hold back, even if he was pissed. The whole neighborhood heard him. I mean, he wasn't perfect. Let's say that. He had a temper. But he let you know how he felt. You know what I mean? But he wasn't going to lie to your face. That's one thing. He's honest. So my mom was so loving and caring, and I miss them both so badly. But I will say, you know, it was so funny. The people that I'm speaking of, the Libra and the Taurus, that are not so nice like my parents, right? They seem to feel an air of supremacy. If you don't believe in what I believe in, you're wrong. If you don't think the way I think, you're wrong. And the weirdest thing is when, through this whole legal situation, when I discovered things about them, such as criminal histories, I'm like, oh my God, you were pointing out the sliver in my eye when you had a wooden plank in your own? Really? Like, You know, so my point is this. We're not all perfect, okay? And we're all snowflakes, and we're all here on a mission, and it's not my job to judge either. But I will not allow myself, especially as an Aries, to be walked on or stepped on or disrespected, okay? And even if someone doesn't agree with me, even if they tell me to my face, well, I really don't believe in that, and I'm respectful, I would never push my beliefs on another person. That's fine. I get that. Okay, no problem. But when you disrespect me, that's another thing. And you're not doing the right things, that's another thing. When you're doing illegal things, that's another thing, okay? My Mars in Aquarius conjunct Jupiter, I will call you on your shit, especially when it affects my family. So that's my point. But I just found it very interesting that somebody who is like extremely judgmental of my own spirituality and my own belief system would feel it's okay to do that, knowing when they themselves, I mean, you can't compare. It's apples and oranges. It's like, wow, you're comparing me because I do astrology and I do readings and I believe in what I believe in, and here you have what? Felonies? Like, you're joking, right? Okay, so consider the source. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to meet these people in your life, right? And with Mars retrograde, it's how you handle your energy. It's how you handle yourself in this life. And like I said, beginnings are scary. A lot of us are up for new beginnings with these eclipses. Endings are sad, but hey, I'm sad for my daughter in certain ways, but I'm going to tell you, endings are sad, but not for this Aries. I'm like, shut that door, close it, padlock, and ain't looking back. Bye-bye, rear view mirror torn off. Thanks. But like I said, it's the middle that counts the most. It's how you're using each day, how you are each day, how you treat each other each day. And, you know, I'm going to challenge each person to do something nice for something that you don't even, somebody that you don't know. And I'm not saying put yourself in danger and pick up a homeless person on a corner and put yourself in danger. Okay, I'm not saying that. But just do an act of kindness for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Do it even if it's donating to the Red Cross or donating to the Salvation Army, or if you see a homeless guy on the corner, maybe giving him something for a meal, or even giving him a meal. Here, I felt that you might need this. Just something, an act of kindness. And I remember my dad. I was very young, and I'm sorry to go on and on. There was a homeless person on the street. And we used to do the old, what was it? Oh, my God, the Jerry Lewis telethon. All for so many years for people, I think, with cerebral palsy. And I always wanted to donate. My dad's like, okay, let's donate. You know, we did that. And as a kid, I learned that it made me feel so good. And my dad's like, you see, these kids are helping out these children who need help, you know. So we used to donate. And I remember seeing somebody as a young kid on the street, and this old lady was looking through garbage to eat, right? And my dad didn't want to make her feel bad, so he said, hey, I saw this on the ground, and I think you dropped it. And it was like, he gave her a $20 bill. And she says, oh, thank you so much. And we drove away, and we kind of looked back, and we saw her go into a bar, right? I told my dad, oh, my God, she wasn't looking for food. She's going to go drink that money. And my dad says, you know what, that's her karma. Because your karma, you know, you saw a woman, she was hungry, and maybe, who knows, maybe they have food in that bar. I don't know. He was like, you know, but he said, look, what she does with it is her karma. We did the right thing. She was in the garbage, obviously looking for food, and she did look homeless. So me saying, oh, you dropped this. You didn't want to make her feel bad. Here you go. Here's $20. You know, I think you dropped it. And she says, oh, thank you. And, you know, but that was the type of people that I was raised by. That's integrity. That is good people. And so I challenge each of you to do something nice. Don't put yourself in danger. Don't let somebody in your car that you don't know. Don't roll down your window for somebody and then they're trying to break in. Don't do that. But try to do something in a healthy, safe way that's an act of kindness for somebody else. even if it's, I don't care if it's a different culture, different religion, just to show the universe that you're open and that you're willing to give and you're willing to, I don't know. And I try to do this a lot. You know, I give Ava's clothes to the shelter, and I try to give back to the people who helped me at the church when I had my open heart surgery. Those people I will be forever indebted to, because they came when I could not lift my daughter for 3 months when I open heart surgery. And they actually run a shelter for women and children, you know, that I try to donate to. But in any kind of way that you feel that it's in your heart to do it, and I'm sorry, I'm tapping my microphone. If it's in your heart to do that, because that's not only good karma, but it'll make it'll make you feel good that you did it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just going on and on about charts. But if you do want a reading from me, my links are below. If you want a mini reading and you don't want to commit to a full reading, I have that option as well. And I have tarot one question offer below as well too. I hope you have a wonderful day. I know this energy is kind of crazy lately. I will pull a tarot. I think I already pulled the tarot for today. I think it was, what was it? It was the Hangman. So it's waiting and sacrificing today. Today's the day of waiting and sacrificing. Yeah. Or is that the 18th? Today's the 17th. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. I think I pulled it for the 18th, waiting and sacrificing. I don't know what I pulled. Let me hear. I'll find it. Do I have it here? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I pulled a card. Okay, yeah. I did a video yesterday at the pool with my daughter. All right, here we go. The 18th was the Hangman, so that's tomorrow, waiting and sacrificing. And today, it is secrets coming out. There could be from a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, in the form of communication. This could be information that you did not know or did not wish to know. A second interpretation is the fire sign has secrets that are coming out, okay? So anyway, that is my little thing for today. All right, secrets coming out tomorrow. You may be in Hangman mode. Maybe you're ingesting what you heard. I don't know, but it's kind of a wait and see tomorrow, right? But anyway, I hope this helps you out, you guys. I just want to say thank you for the likes, your shares, and subscriptions. And in the last few days, oh my God, I've had a lot more subscriptions, and I just want to say thank you so much. And thank you for your orders and your understanding. As you know, I'm going through a child visitation battle thing, which is not fun, but anyway, and thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope you have a wonderful day and try to enjoy your summer. I'm going to try to do something with my little Ava today and have her have a nice day. But anyway, and I'm redundantly, and somebody said I say something a lot, like, I'm sorry I say a lot. If you don't like it, then unsubscribe or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you the information the best that I know. I'm not a newscaster. I'm not a news reporter. I did not go to journalism school, but I did study astrology. So I can give you that information. And the way I give it, if it bothers you, then I don't know what to tell you. Some people are like, whatever, can't appease everybody. There's always going to be haters, right? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions. And I hope this at least inspired some of you and made you look at a chart differently, and maybe you thinking about that guy or girl that you said, I wasn't ever going to date because they're a Scorpio. Maybe do their chart, and maybe you may think, maybe they are a good person. I don't know. Or maybe I need to stay away. I don't know. Just look at their chart. Anyway, and if you want my classes, I do have downloadable classes, so you can learn all this yourself and learn about that person based on their chart. You know what I mean? So if you're dating someone, or if you're not sure if you should get involved with someone, you may want to look at that, all right? So anyway, I hope this helps you out. I have a lot of free resources on the website. Hopefully you look at them, and it's live, LIVEVISIONZ.com, and I hope they're helpful to you guys, okay? I love you, and I want to say thanks for your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions. And if you could share this video, I would greatly appreciate it. or at least like and comment on it, all right? I will talk to you soon, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.